Well, hello. And how the devil are you all? So I've got a few people on already. Dave will be here, he promises. He's got something silly like work. He finishes work at 4, so he's conforming to all the speed limits and making his way back home so he can appear on here. And I have to admit that I was putting up a shelf. This is a very manly thing to do. If all the women on here would like, who've put up shelves in the past, would like to put in the comments, I'd like to know that, because I want to know if this is just a vicious stereotype that I've just made. But yeah, I know. And then suddenly realised that I'd completely forgotten this. And then I said, that's all right, because I'll be all right with Dave. And then Dave says, I'm going to be 20 minutes late. So this is Harry on an extra waffle. But no, we do have some things here. Hello, Cody. Hi, Harry. Hope you're okay. Thank you very much. Hi, Harry. How's Arthur? Thank you, Stephanie. I think the kids, when I say the kids, the 21-year-olds, take Arthur away. He needs to make more appearances, doesn't he? And Valerie's able to join us this week. Thank you. Hello. What exciting anecdotes are you going to come up with today, says Maria. Well, that's pressure, isn't it? And hi, I'm having a manly day too, making wooden fairy doors and knitting them. Oh, they move up really quick. Look, there we go. There we go. That is, Calv, I'm impressed. Because you're ex-military as well, I think. So making wooden fairy doors and knitting, Prem baby hats. Yeah, my daughter, when she was born, we had twins, and she was £4.10, which was about the size of a Tesco's chicken, fat, easily confused at that age. Yeah, that is just rude. Oh no, not that one. You see when they really whack them up high, really quick. It's loads of people commenting, which is fantastic. Mick just said that I waffle all the time anyway, which is technically accurate. Thank you, Sheila. That's very kind of you. That's really nice. We're just waiting for people to come in. Look, 163. Oh my God, that's the highest we've had. Quick, don't tell Dave. Jeez. Good. We're gonna start. I know we'll just see if he's in the next few minutes, but then I will start. Just go through about what things have been happening this week in the Twitter sphere. And when Dave's here, it can't be too controversial because I just don't want him being associated with controversial stuff because it's just a headache he gets at work. Not necessarily just because of his job, his work particularly, but being a police officer, it's not good. And we've got people from Periscope. Ed's here from Periscope. Oh, right, okay. Well, hey, Harry, very new here. What do I need to know? Well, Ed, it's customary that the new people on here take the floor for the next 10 minutes. So there you go. No, all right. Could literally. Oh, and there is proof. Hang on. Oh, I don't know where it went. Oh, yeah, there you go. There is proof I've been putting up shelves. That just fell out of my pocket. Nearly stabbed me up the bum. But yeah, Ed, basically, we've got people from Finn's Facebook, because Dave's got like 50,000 followers on Facebook. I've got about 40,000 on Twitter. Twitter works through Periscope, so that's my Periscope bring people in. And then we brand new just started our YouTube channel, which is a few weeks old now. But we need people to subscribe. That's where all these talks are. Next week, it looks like is it next week or the week after? We definitely have got a paramedic coming on from Devon Air Ambulance. So that's good. He's been okayed. So that's really exciting. Sack the juggler. Thank you, Vic. Well, Stephanie, you see, that's what always happens. He gets, I wondered the other day how many kisses that dog gets. We call it germ spreader. That's his nickname. but the thing is, because dogs just run around and they pollute all the children when they were babies with germs. They have got the best, system to stop germs and illnesses. We're never ill. Oh, I've said it now. As some guy in America said he was not going to catch this fake disease, COVID, and he just did, didn't he? Old Trump did. So, and loads of people there. So, oops. Oh dear. Every day's a learning day, as they say. And that's a really good, Finn's dogs, that's in that cabinet over there. I love Finn's book so much. He's so brave. Yeah, I know. And Dave is, he's just one of my best mates. He's a good lad. I like his Dave. Thank you very much. I enjoy your chat. It's something. Thank you, Maria. Something I look forward to every week. Maria, you need to get out more, but you can't because it's COVID. That's you are my captive audience. Thank you very much. Look forward to every week. Wonder what Finn slave name Dave will come up with today. I know, I'm so unimaginative. I've got to do it. I've got to change that really boring name. There, that one there. But we will. This is flooding in. This is amazing. It's lovely to see you all here. Awesome. I'm looking forward to joining the community. Well, yes, welcome, Ed. Us dogs don't spread germs. Exactly. But you prevent people from catching germs. That's it. And I think there was something. Don't take this as medical advice, for God's sake. But we did look up in Google to see if dogs were germ, but the deciding thing was that they are far less germ spreaders than people. So, I mean, literally on contact, like touching fur and stuff like that. But anyway, I don't think I could stop touching my dog anyway. Oh, look, Northern Ireland. Hello from Northern Ireland. We love Finn. Finn's Law is the best thing ever to happen around the country. It is, and it's in Scotland. And it's Northern Ireland. Richard, can you update us? Is it actually ongoing in Northern Ireland now? Is it in... Of course it would be. It's the same. But so it is, isn't it? But thank you, Beck. I'll take that. I strive for adequate. You're okay. But we will, after this flurry of chat, this is brilliant. This is going to bring me until Dave comes in. And then you'll have something sensible to talk about. The mounted branch as well, because Claire, Dave is such a fab guy. He supported us in the mounted branch when my friend died in mounted. Yeah, it's such a community, isn't it? I mean, I find these sort of, the police is a community. It's a real family as it is. And then, hello, Ethan. And then you have departments like dogs, like tactical support unit, like mounted, because there's not a lot of mounted people around there. Even Somerset is our nearest one, isn't it? And of course, City of London, and they were in big papers. And then all the armchair experts came out about the horses. When that poor officer got so badly injured, but she's still recovering now. So wish her all the best. But these animals, they wouldn't do it if they didn't love it. They'd love. You can't train an animal to do something it just doesn't want to do. Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, it is. I mean, I think we could talk about dogs all day, couldn't we, Anne-Marie? It's amazing like that. But there is one thing I just want to say, because having tripped over a few followers, and I get lots of people in the background saying, oh, Harry, can you advertise this, advertise this, advertise this? And this is one that I was straight onto from the beginning, because people like Nick Knowles have been very strong, Mike Pannett on this, and loads of other people. And that is this one here. Okay, so this one here, you could see it's Unsung Heroes, BBC Sport. It's sort of the awards every year. Unsung Hero. Now, I was just going to show you, because it looks a little bit complicated first of all, but it really isn't. Okay, because I was finding my way around it initially. I'm just going to, Anne-Marie, sorry, I'm going to remove you from there. I do apologise. But you don't need to read it in depth at the moment, but you can see that Unsung Heroes here, that's the front page. When you look on either loads of Twitter accounts such as mine and whatever, you'll get a link, or Google BBC Sport Unsung Heroes, and that's what you'll get. If you click into that, and then once you have, I've just got to find out how, here we go. Because it's a white background, I can't, there we go. So once you have, then you'll get in and you'll see this bit here. And can you see this bit? I've highlighted it. So it looks like ordinary text. It's really simple. Tell us why your nominee deserves. And we're looking at Matt Ratana, all right, Matt Ratana, police officer who was shot 5 times and was murdered in Croydon. So, and it's a really good thing so these are unsung heroes, because I think everyone's pretty aware now that he was, first of all, and that's meant to be up there, don't we? But first of all, he was meant to, he was coaching the juvenile, the younger team, and that is of East Grinstead. And then he was made head coach of the main team. So, and he'd just been coaching before he'd come to work. So, and when that awful thing happened. So if you could click onto that, go into the one I just showed you, that will bring you a load of things to fill in your details and a nomination. You're allowed like 800 words, I think. Explaining about, first of all, he was a top cop, and it seemed to be that he's really affected so many people so much. And then obviously the crucial thing is about the sport that he's done as well. And that's what, and these are the details. You'll find it on my Twitter account. You'll find it on others you follow. It's everywhere now on Facebook and so on and all that lot. And there's a postcode they're given, a phone number and an email that you have to give of the nominee. Okay, not your details of them, but it's easily explained. But that would be cool if you could do that. There was something I wanted to also say. Oh, right. Okay, that's good. I'll just put this up for Anne-Marie very quickly. My son made and sent key rings to our police force down in Sussex to say thank you for all you do to keep us safe. He has raised £715 for the NHS. He did want to send some to the dog unit and Dave and Finn, but couldn't find where to send them. Okay. I mean, it's under Finn's UK, Finn UK, I think it is. But he will tell you when he comes on. Okay. And the other thing I really wanted to show you, did everyone have a good laugh at this? I mean, when I say good laugh, there's certain things happen in life when you think, yes, good old-fashioned coppering, yeah, absolutely, top policing. And I'm just going to show you, this, right? But what I will do, I've got no sound on this, but I'll show you guys. You might hear sound, you might not. There we go. So he's listening to a radio, he's clunking with all his gear. This is absolutely phenomenal. Love this guy who's done this. This is his Northumbria police. And he's hearing about a moped, and it's all local knowledge. He's thinking there's a moped, stolen moped. It's failed to stop for police. A bit of Annika Rice type running. You can hear the helicopter above. You probably can't on yours because I forgot to link in the volume, I think, on this screen, but it's only lots of, right. He knows his point. It's local knowledge. Moped coming. Whack. Oh, it's a beaut. Don't you just love it? I love that. Under arrest, theft of a motorbike, in a perfect Geordie accent. Oh, I love that, don't you? So, and he's nicked on dangerous driving and so on. So, beauty. I think everyone saw that. Wasn't that a cracker? It's just nice to happen now because you've got a bit of experience, bit of knowledge, knowing the patch. I think sometimes people move around so much, and sometimes I think people have to commute so far that they don't know it from their local knowledge. Like in the old days, I mean, I put one up in my Torquay section, Sea Party it was called, and I said Sea Section, but it was unusually, it was called Sea Party, and it was the best. And it was just because everyone lived really locally. Everyone knew the scallywags, and we just had the brilliant time. And of course, you didn't have people complaining every few seconds because they'd seen something nasty. We had the canteens. Breakfast would be playing euchre, you know, and we had police pantomimes, which would be an absolute piss take out of the bosses and things. So that was really good. Yeah, I mean, really good stuff. Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, he's a top cop. Very satisfying day on the job. That would have been absolutely. Can you imagine? People saying for awards and things like that, but that was just normal coppering. That wasn't anything over the and above. But it was, yeah, good stuff. But you can imagine someone videoing that now saying, "Oh, really, you know, you're being rough and stuff." Body cam, brilliant. Thank God we've got it. There was another thing we need to do a shout out to as well, and that is the sad death of PC Mandy Berrystone, otherwise known as Fairweather, Mandy Fairweather. And she was a 34-year-old woman who was PC for 14 years in Dorset, based at Poole, or she lived at Poole. So that's a bit too close, because we're Devon and Cornwall, and we're my force is not merged. It is. I'm forgetting words today. It's happening, isn't it? We're not merged. We're sort of associated with them, so we share a lot of stuff. But it's devastating, because ambulance was called to a home address and for a medical emergency. And she leaves a husband called Andrew and a 6 and a 9-year-old. And she was typical life and style of the party, and it's just devastating. So really all our best for her and, you know, her family and friends and things like that. It really hits the police family hard when you hear these things. Alliance, thank you. I couldn't think of an alliance. I think it's just a weird name, that. And to think, I've just been asked to do a quick chat at Eton Boys. That should be interesting. Good on them, because they said, do you know what? We don't hear in my college, in our Eton College, they don't hear much about the policing and side of things. So they asked if I would be on a webinar. So I'm really looking forward to it. Because if you think about it, a lot of these people, from whether it's right or wrong, and they end up being MPs and things, if there's something that you can just balance the odds a little bit and give them a little bit of real life stuff as opposed to just what they hear on the press and stuff, then that's got to be good. Maria, yeah, words run away, but it's, do you know, the good thing is, I know it's not Alzheimer's, because I've always been like it. It's like names, words, numbers. They just escape me. I don't know why. It's my thing now. Yeah, it wasn't collaborating, Peter Thomas, but it is good go. But it was an alliance. It was an alliance. So it's one of those where everyone was merging, and then I think all the forces realised it was an utter disaster, and no one was, you know, oops. So then they like having little forced divorces, I think, aren't they? Because then you'd think, oh, it's brilliant, we've got all these resources. A bit like in London, you know, all the boroughs, right? They thought, I know, if we make the boroughs bigger, then we'll get rid of all the little ones and we'll like regionalise the boroughs. And then we'll have more people, and we can send more people to different areas. But they sort of realised that, well, those people have to travel twice as far, and they're always the wrong side of the borough than they need to be. So they will run ragged, and it's the same thing. I think I had stories of armed response guys who were going from literally 2 hours to their commute, because they needed to be sent. They were the ones available, and they needed, so it was 2 hours there, 2 hours back, and if that was on a night shift, that was knackering. So these things are good on paper, aren't they? They are good on paper. Have I seen the caution video on Twitter? No, I haven't. What's different about it? You don't have to say anything, but Mohammed, if to your defence, if you do not mention when questioned something which you like to rely on in court, anything you do say may be given in evidence. That was pressure on, wasn't it? Remind me of this one. What's your opinion on the guy who made the video on YouTube on policing? Audited, I think his name is. Don't know, Ed. Give me a clue on that one. Yeah, Claire, and that's exactly what it is. That's what it's like in the Met, because you have to travel so friggin' fast. And that's why, apart from Devon and Cornwall, with the dog units, pretty much every force, all your forces out there, pretty much slashed the dogs in half and kept the front ends. No, and the numbers in half, right? And it was just devastating, because I could see straight away the dogs had to be in the right place. So you didn't like lose half the jobs, you lost 3/4 of the jobs, because the dogs were in the wrong place and they had to go to the other side of the force, in which case they're gone. If you have 2 dogs, it's like and they've got there. Yeah, it's just straight away. So bad, much better. So yeah, so there we go. I'm waiting for Dave. Dave's not here. I know a secret about Andy. Yeah. Donations come in, I'll tell it. So yeah. What are you talking about here? Someone's saying, not that one there. Yeah, he did a real speedy one. Somebody's saying speaks really, is this me? Am I speaking really fast? Because I've got to learn, when Dave's here, please come up and say shut up, because I talk too much when Dave's here. My wife said it, other people have said it. It's difficult when I'm on my own at the moment here. I'm hoping to get someone who is the female head. Not that it should make any difference, but it's interesting to know the journey. The female head of a firefighter, county firefighters, and she's got a phenomenal story. So I'm hoping to get her on here. And she knows Mandy Hickson, the tornado pilot, who came on and had a chat here. If you want to catch up with these chats, go on the YouTube channel, and it's all on there. And you'll actually catch them on Spotify and things like that. Just search for Frontline, one word, Frontline Chat. Frontline Chat. Yeah, see, and that's the problem. Some forces are getting more because they suddenly realise the public order tracking, the finding, and they're just phenomenal animals. It's typical. It's once they're taken away, people realise how valuable they were. Oh, what's this? Hi, any chance of you giving the Baby Loss Awareness Week a shout out? 9th to the 15th of August. Keep an eye out for that one. So, yeah, that's what there wasn't. I think the police have had a bit of a break this week, haven't they? I don't think we've had a right old battering as far as on the news. I think it's things which is tragic incidences. I think people realise, and they sort of come around a bit and go, oh, maybe the police aren't so bad after all. Oh, they look quite human. But when you have an incessant bashing, like people from like Dawn Butler, MP, meant to be, respectable, reliant, and someone who should be a follower and all this sort of thing, and a leader, and she says things like that, what she kicked up, it's naughty. It's naughty. So you just get an avalanche of people going, oh yeah, they are terrible, aren't they? So yeah, and I said it before, and I think it's horrible for these incidences to happen, but we all know they do happen in life, these tragic incidences, and maybe, especially with the younger generation, maybe I hope they think, well, yeah, maybe they're not so bad. Maybe it's not as it's shown on TV, is it? Yeah, they do it all pretty much. Cops do an all-round good job. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put up with it. I really wouldn't have put up with it. Oh, there's the video. Let's see if I can. Can't take that off at the moment. I'll have to look at it for next time, I think, really. Andy, you're being naughty, are you? Because you don't think I saw it. Right, okay. Yes, I did see that video. Thank you. Got it. Pennies dropped. The guy saying the caution speaks really fast, so you can't understand what he's saying. And that is the problem. Because, yeah, you don't have to say anything, but you don't mention when you're questioning something relational, it was faster than that, wasn't it? And it's sort of thing, when you learn something quickly, it's usually, when I was in a public order situation, and it was usually with younger coppers there, and you could get this sort of, sometimes, there was a Wimpy one recently, or McDonald's, showing me age there. There was a McDonald's video where there was a lot of cops there, and there was a bit of towing and throwing. And then there was a female coming in, and she was like banging the back, and then the officer was pulling her back, and then she was coming back in. And it needed some leadership. It needed, even if it was a senior PC or just a PC who had confidence, it needed someone to get a grip. Sometimes I think there's so much paperwork, now everyone just steps back and hopefully someone else gets the arrest, which would be a terrible thing, but it happens. And it just needed someone to say, right, you're nicked, they need nicking, blah, blah, blah. You can't tell someone to nick, but it needs someone to say, right, this is what's happening. And I think, and so, when I was in the public order situation there, and you got younger cops or lesser experienced cops, and they were all like standing back, and I would grab one of these little yobs, and shove them down the road. Say, right, go, you're going home. And they were, oh, you can't touch me, you can't touch me. And I'd say, person may use such force as reasonable in circumstances in prevention of crime or in the effecting and assisting a lawful arrest of persons I've nearly forgotten the last bit. It's been a while. But the first bit is really relevant to that. And yeah, the first bit's really relevant to that. And so, but you can say it really quick if you're not careful. Mate, are you just saying you just casually come? You look as though you just woken up. To be honest, I'll be honest with you, mate.
I know. You know what? I'm really cozy as well. I've been sat down for 2 minutes. I've just got home from work, people, and I've got a lap warmer.
Oh, that's nice. That's your Frenchie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Harper.
Harper.
Oh, can't see. There's a face. Where's your face, Harper?
I don't think it's got a face.
No.
It's got two backsides, that one now, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And a cup of tea. So what could be better?
Oh, that's good. Well, we've missed you, mate.
My alarm clock went off at 4 o'clock this morning, and I didn't fancy waking the whole house up to have a shave. So I'm unshaven. Sorry.
You're looking like that guy on a Carry On film who was a really nice guy now. I'm going to get a picture for next week.
Made it a really nice guy because I'm not a really nice guy.
Again, I can't think of his name.
Yes.
That's good, Dave. Andy's got a good idea. Dave's got to do his second half on his own.
No. Can't have part-time, Harry. Harry doesn't work now. I've been at work all day. I got soaked to the bone 2 days in a row. But someone reminded me today, you can only get so wet. So shut up and get on with it.
It's once your pants get wet, you know, it can't get any worse.
Yeah, exactly. You might as well just carry on. But we still did dog training in all that misery.
Really nice.
The handler wasn't impressed, but
Bernard Cribbins, absolutely spot on.
Hero tracked to a bunch of robbers on our last set of shifts.
Tell me about it.
And they were only young. They weren't particularly nice kids. But one of them called me Paul O'Grady. He was effing and jeffing at me at the time and said, "Why don't you beep Paul O'Grady?" I wish I had money.
I'm not gonna probably it's I wasn't gonna do a there's a few I could choose here. This is good. Actually, okay.
I want you to come on here to be insulted. I don't need to come on here and be insulted, you know. I could just stay on Twitter.
I'm gonna put this up for everyone. Bernard Cribbins, blimey. I must admit, he looked a little bit younger when I knew him, but no, actually, I think he always looked a fair bit older. I'm trying to get a nice big picture, but it's not happening. So I'm going to have to share the whole screen. Oh, there we go. But it's nice. He's such a nice Bernard Cribbins. What a lovely guy he was. I will get it in a minute. It's just really slow. But mate, have you been? So you've been.
What have you been covering? Have you talked about Trump?
Yeah. Touched on Trump.
Okay.
There's nothing more to say apart from it's a bit like I tell you what, it's a bit like when you get involved in a police collision, a small one or whatever, and two people take the mick. And I think all those people who take the mick have got to be so careful because you know they're going to have a little collision as well, and you're going to then take full advantage.
It's best not to say anything when someone does a boo-boo. There he is.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get at you next to him on that one, I think. But
yeah.
Oh, you don't want that one next to me.
Catweasel would do as well.
Hey?
Yeah, you can have Catweasel. I'll let you have that one as well.
Then what about there's Timothy West as well. Timothy West.
Right. I'd have his money, definitely. Although apparently I've got his money if you listen to some morons.
Is he? Is he really wealthy? Because he's got his wife. Huh? He does that barge boat stuff.
He what?
He does that barge boat stuff, doesn't he? The documentary where he goes around on a barge with his is that him? Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. That's a lovely program.
It is. So what you've done? Why have you been climbing through stuff today? Then, particularly today, anything? Just you fancied it?
No, we've. I've just been at work. 6 a.m. starts, which obviously means you've got to get up before walk the dog. And la. So
yeah, you see, that's it. That wouldn't happen. I wouldn't walk the dog before I had to go to work. No, that's why I get a little dog. so he can like jump on the spot for a minute. But he's never had such good walks since I've been off. You know,
I bet he's like, go back to work, Dad.
yeah. Well, no, it's not, and especially with Corona, he was like, we call it the crash when you've got to go in the crash. Basically, when we're not here, he gets left in the house on his own. So Becky, my wife, calls it, he's left in the crash. But so he hasn't had to have a crash for years, for months rather, and then he was stuck in it. I don't think he knew what to do with himself. You know.
Bless him. Now Daddy's at home all day long.
Oh, somebody's saying this. The grabber, not the grabber thing to pick up things from floors.
They put a message further down. It's what they put on the bull bars to stop the cars. Isn't that the thing that it sort of flings out and?
Oh right, okay. See, they try a lot. See, a lot of things are good for America because they're big, wide roads.
Yeah.
We got little, and that's why usually the little stingers are good for us. But I mean, when I was driving in LA and there was 7 lanes, that was a hell of a stinger to get across that.
Yeah.
That's why fishtailing doesn't really work here. We train fishtailing, so we do it on the armed response side of things and traffic. So we do it. It's where you basically get behind the car for anyone, and you just go up alongside, and then you don't actually smash into them. You go up alongside, and then you just accelerate and turn, so they actually spin off. Yeah. So in America, they spin and nothing too much happens. Sometimes they go off, but then in the UK, they'd hit something very hard, very quick, and they'd roll and probably die, and then there's a lot of paperwork. So. Yes.
Well, my friend in America did that just before he shot the baddie dead. He's a cop.
Yeah, that was good. The baddie was the important word there.
Yeah.
They're all people that need help, Dave.
Oh, yeah. Well, he did need help, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did the pit maneuver, that's it. Yeah, the pit. We don't call it, do we call it the pit? Westminster one recently, didn't they? And they put it on their social media. They're going to kill himself with his child, which it had to be done. I think I spoke about doing something similar a few weeks ago on one of our podcasts, where I was told, if you got the opportunity, stick her in the ditch. So I did.
Yeah, it is. I mean, ultimately, it's easy. People say, it's a bit like shooting people. It's an easy decision because are you going to die or is someone else? So, so they've put themselves in that position. So they might have lots of very sad reasons why they are in that position, but I don't see why any police officer or member of the public should destroy their lives, their families' lives, or whatever. So so those are easy, and it's a bit like with the pit maneuver. It's a bit like more is what we call tactical contact, is where you saw the video last time. It's where we just push someone out of the scenery. Into the scenery, so to speak, and that people ultimately are going to be hurt very badly if you don't do it. And if it happens to the baddie, then so be it. And I think a lot of it. This is a very good point, really, isn't it, Dave? Because a lot of it is this. It doesn't matter what you do.
No, it doesn't matter what I do, mate. It really doesn't. So I'm just going to crack on and do, because I know what I'm doing is good. So.
And you only got to satisfy the person standing in your own boots, haven't you? Yeah,
I like to make my family proud. I like to make my kids proud. I like to do good by.
I gave up on that years ago.
Yeah. But yeah, when it comes to morons on social media having their say, I mean, yeah. Everyone starts their own opinion. Opinions are like arseholes, but you don't have to be one. Was what I put on social media.
Yeah. Well, that was it. There was a whole generation, wasn't there, of people saying, "Oh, and this is where this is the youth of today," and it's not, because there's some brilliant youth about, and there are. It's not as bad out there as we think, guys. We just look at the bad ones and the useless ones, but they come to knowledge more. But there was a whole generation of, remember, kids, be yourself. Don't let anyone tell you to be different, and they confused that with not being to say, if you're an idiot, for God's sake, change. They're almost like, I'm an idiot, but I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be that all my life.
Oh, dear. Yeah. I guess it's what makes the world go round, isn't it?
Right. I stayed at Dave's house, and there was literally, I don't think, you know, when people say literally too much, genuine case of literally 1,000 medals hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
I hope it was a brick wall and not a plasterboard wall, because you're going to pull the hook out that wall.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I know. Yeah, they do like their swimming. They're between clubs at the moment, but they're still going practicing. They go practicing nearly every morning early here before school where we live.
Don't they call that training?
Yeah, they push themselves. They are monsters. But it's hilarious because you see, you know, there'll be like a 30-year-old man at the side of the pool doing his stretches before he gets in, and he sees this kid get in, and you can see his face like, "Get out of the way, child." And then each of them get in, and they're like, and this guy going, "Crikey, I better move down the lane." It's hilarious.
Well, I put my kids off from being competitive swimmers a long time ago, because I knew it involved 4 o'clock in the morning starts later on in life. Yeah. But where you have to.
What did your kids do? What sport?
Well, Savannah was a bench warmer. She liked hockey, but hockey didn't like her. So sorry, Savannah, she won't be listening. It's fine. I think my two have sort of, and Rowan was black belt in Taekwondo, and he was literally twice a week, full on. It's a bit like swimming. It's full on. Sparring was, oh my God, it was non-stop. And then competition. So he's got a fair old few medals and things. So that was his sport. Savannah was more like, more into academia, really. But, you know,
she's the clever one in the family. So obviously, my mate sent me a message today, and he was stood on this miserable sidelines of a miserable field in miserable Bedfordshire in the miserable weather somewhere. And I said to him, "You just need to get your kids into swimming. Yes, it is early starts, but you can wear shorts and flip-flops in the middle of winter because these buildings are burning hot."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are.
That is one good thing about being a swimming parent. Well, Andrew,
good luck with your sore bits, Andrew.
Yeah. Don't post pictures of your sore bits.
No, it's not one of those surgeries, is it? So next week, guys, we're going to ask everyone.
I would have to pull my trousers down for one of my sore bits, but it's not there, thank God. That's when Finn bit me, actually.
Did he?
Yeah, he meant to bite the bad guy, and I was giving the bad guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is when. That's when cops handcuff a cop's arm instead, isn't it? In the melee.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's been hot and sunny all day, every day, Ian. I met Ian earlier, and he's a thoroughly nice chap and a useful man to know. That's all I'm saying, Dave. Tell you about him later. He's a very nice chap. Yeah, he's done a lot for policing. He's a top man. He was telling me once, Ian, I won't say anymore, when you were stopped by police, and the police officer is now in charge of the section that I left. Lovely lady called Kirsty. And he wasn't doing anything wrong, so that I need to add that. I think she was just harassing innocent members of the public at the time. She is something very dangerous. So, excuse me. So, yeah, no, I did mention earlier about the unsung heroes. Dave covered that. Had some little screens on here on how people can actually, because it looks just like black text, and you think, where do I go? And so I put screens up which highlighted what they need to click and the address.
I really hope that happens. It would just be absolutely incredible.
Elbow stuff, nerves. That sounds painful, mate. That sounds painful. Andrew, we did. Thank you. Yes. Ian, no, I didn't need to put that up, Ian. You could have just struggled with that one. How long have you two known each other? Well, since about 3:30, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It was since. Was it my Twitter awards or your Twitter awards? Did you see what we did there?
Yeah.
It was my Twitter awards.
Did you win at Northants?
Yes.
Yeah. So I met you there, and I met Mike for the first time there as well.
Yes, it was Mike. You
were on this table full of supporters, and they were like whoop whoop whoop, and I was nobody over in the corner on my own with a dog that was misbehaving.
That was on my one, but then you bloody won it. But I was so naive. Honestly. Honestly, how I became a copper, I do not know. Because Mike contacted me and said, because he was one of the organisers. I knew him through winning Twitter after that. Really, I did know him in Twitter before, but so he was one of the organisers, and he said, "Oh, you're nominated for it, and it's a few votes and things like that." So that's nice, and that's genuine when you genuinely think, it's lovely to be nominated. But so. And then he said, "Look, Harry, could you go to Warner Brothers, which was part of his production company, worked within Warner Brothers. They did, and they said, can you? He just wants to do a 10-minute interview. Would you go up to London?" Or I thought, I'd love to go up to London anyway. So I'd go through there. It was a great experience. Renegade Pictures was his one. Renegade Pictures worked, and I thought, I'll be a little office, go into Renegade Pictures, past this massive Warner Brothers shield on the wall lit up, and past the reception, go in there, answer a few questions, because he said, because we've got about 10 people coming in, these videos will be playing and all that. And I didn't know it was my video post winning the award that was going. So I was just and it was only me that did the video, so it was such an idiot.
Now when you walk into a building, you just expect an award, don't you?
I think I've had my 15 minutes of awards days.
I've been done a couple of times like that. The Daily Mirror Animal Hero Awards. Again, they said, "Oh yeah, we're just doing some videos. You haven't won, but just yeah, brilliant." And like Twitter, like you, I was like, "Yeah, it's just great to be here, brilliant," because then I can give out some Finn's Law pamphlets and help raise a profile. And obviously, it was D. Collins. It was in West Yorkshire, and it was amazing. We had an amazing time. And then they said my name on one of the things, and I ignored it because I didn't hear it. Of course, I wasn't. Yeah. Nothing to do with me. I was just there to let people talk in. And then was like, "That's you." They just said your name. I was like, "What? What are you talking about?"
Well, if you actually, if you can lip read, because there is a video going where they're videoing me, and they go, because I was on the table with John Sutherland, and we were both up for the blog.
Dead famous, you lot.
Well, only because maybe afterwards, really, we were really, and I appeared in the Daily Mail before that for a certain big bridge incident, but that was it. If you want more followers, just get in the front page of the Daily Mail. It's fine, online one. But no, and so it was at a table, and his lovely family were there as well. Like, gorgeous, honestly. His wife is stunningly beautiful. Not that I'm surprised, John. Seriously, if you ever see this, and his chitty bang bang kids, perfect kids, well behaved, and it was, so it was. I was for best sergeant and overall, and he was for blog, and I thought. So I went out and won best sergeant thingy, and then the blog was, and he won the best blog, and then he came out and went, but that saves it being awkward, doesn't it? Because it was on the same table if I managed to get. So I was really pleased he got the best blog. And in the overall, you can lip read, I go.
That's the first time I met John Sutherland as well. I met his dog too, Pip, I think.
I haven't seen it. Right.
Around. He brought his dog with him. John's a lovely guy. Absolutely lovely guy.
I went to head of UK Twitter in London as well with John Sutherland, and they gave us a chat, really useful chat. Yeah, went in and
name dropping.
Yeah, well, it was brilliant. Oh, it's an amazing place. It's a bit like Google. They do stuff that is not normal business. It's pretty much free and easy. But I need to. Unfortunately, the contacts I have are not enough to. They've moved on, so I can't get my blue tick back like you, Dave. Your blue tick. Perhaps I'll have to earn it this time.
I just draw mine on everybody's screen because I don't deserve a blue tick because I'm a liar and a fraud. Have you heard this? Have you heard this? It's doing the rounds. Pete just mentioned it. Doing the rounds on social media. Now any cop who's arrested someone in a hurry or out of breath has done dodgy cautions or cautions.
Oh, we were talking about this before you came. Stick it on, Dave. No, I don't because I didn't have it convenient. Have you got it on your phone there?
The caution goes. I can't remember it. Harry,
don't say anything. You usually say, "Go and nick him."
No, right. It's normally a little bit of swearing. I don't know if there's any swearing on this. Hopefully there isn't. But if there is, here comes the warning. If there's swearing, we apologise. But this guy is in such an adrenaline rush. And I'm guessing he's thinking about the fact he's on his own. La, 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 la. Anyway, he comes up with this caution. See if you can make out any words. Hopefully you can hear it.
Right.
You're under arrest at this point for burglary. You've got to say, shut up. Don't say the main harm is the go with the years where you okay?
What? Oh my God! That's quicker than the one I saw.
Could you hear it?
Yeah, perfectly.
And basically, he says, you didn't have to say anything. Okay?
I thought the best part of his caution was the shut up, because that meant you don't have to say anything.
I was caught once, years ago. Don't worry, years ago.
I don't think the detective inspector is too impressed.
Exactly. What? And
nice to see you. I know who you are.
Come out as it was supposed to come out, and the defence tried to do thing about the fact I got the caution wrong. And the judge got fed up in the end and turned around and said, "Did your client know he was under arrest?" Yes. Did he know he's been cautioned? Yes. Right. Well, can we please move on?
That's brilliant.
Right, but it doesn't matter if circumstance takes over.
But it's something that I hope it's been in the court case now. But it's something that could cause a little bit of a problem. But the guy will probably say, "Oh, there you go. Yeah, nice to see you, my friend. Good to see you." It was you're nicked and you're a canny bag of Tudor. Why, man. That's good. I think most people, after all these fly on the wall documentaries, can probably recite it themselves now. But it was the trouble was when they changed it. I remember practicing in Dawlish police station. We were told, right, that's caution up to this date, and then it was a new. It used to be you don't have to say anything, but anything you do say may be given in evidence. I think that's all it was.
Okay.
And then they added all this other stuff, and you think, oh God, we've got to learn all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So senior cops were going out, and then suddenly going, you don't. Hang on a minute, you don't. And then, of course, now there's a now caution and there's a later caution, and I always used to go on that bit because I couldn't remember which was what. So I think if you nick them then. It's now for the actual interview, I think, and later for the thing. But honestly, no wonder you need a degree to come into the policing now. You need to remember which of the two words to use.
That's it, yeah. Did I say the other week I went to custody for the first time, but not because they needed help with someone who's being very aggressive. And I haven't been to custody in a very long time because like a county resource, they want you out there. And I couldn't believe the amount of things people had to go through and do. And my gosh, yeah, exactly. That's my caution.
You're right, because again, I had to, because you've not only it's called K. It's called it's all going, I tell you, because as ARV sergeant and all that, I'll be honest with you. Oh, is that a bit close? It's like, ooh, oh, that's bad. Show me what you prefer down there. But it was you couldn't just say, right, I'm arresting you for theft. And you had to say, I'm arresting you for theft. And the reason I'm arresting you for theft because we need to we need to interview before you can go and tell all your friends, and therefore to you had to tell them in layman's terms why you couldn't just speak to them later voluntarily. You know, and you may go and tell your friend who's just run away, you know, and before we can actually catch him and things like this sort of thing. So is those, you know, there was a list of about 7 or 8 things that you had to mention, and so to prevent harm to yourself or another, to prevent the loss of evidence and that side of things. But and then you'd have to give plenty of reasons why did you need to arrest him and not just speak to him later. And that was sometimes, well, because it's just handy. You couldn't say it. And then they get into custody. People won't realise it's about 40 minutes of, right, this isn't for evidence, but have you taken any drugs that may influence you in the, you know, and
they have to do COVID. They have to go through the whole COVID thing as well now. So it's longer and longer. But
that's what it should go back to, because to be honest, they know, don't they? They do know you're Nixon.
I've said it a few times. To be fair, most of the time they can't hear me. Joy said, "Do you arrest people, Dave?" Well, Hero, Pearl, and Finn arrest people. Yeah, I mean, contrary to popular belief, I don't just swan around and living off my millions. I do work very hard at work, and my dogs do get in an enormous amount of results every month. So yes, I do arrest people quite a lot.
They do. You do. It's difficult because it can come across like with the armed response. I know we tend to do the rules pretty much where if we came across something, like we came across 2 people fighting or a smash window in front of us, the rules where it was our job, we'd deal with it. But you've got sort of 40 grand car with 2 armed response officers off the street now dealing with this interview for a smash window for 40 quid sort of thing. And it wasn't the best resources, but the alternative for that was you're sort of, if we were sent to jobs, then we wouldn't deal with the end result, which made a lot of sense because it really is terrible. And some would make it sound quite bad because it was like, oh, I'm too good for this. Oi, pauper, deal with my job. And that was the thing that you had to be really careful it didn't come across as.
Yeah. I remember a probationer, and it didn't happen like this, but it always felt like firearms were like, there you go, yours. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what they've done.
So I don't know if he wants to be named here, so I won't, but he's 3rd Pit, Chief Inspector. Bloody good man.
Well done.
Bloody good man. Just, you know, certain people in the job where you just think it was a pleasure to, when you think, oh God, I've got to deal with this job, and it's, you know, and then you see someone there and you go, actually, they'll genuinely try to help you if they can, you know, because even though their workload is up like that, because there isn't a place I don't think you can hide. You're busy wherever you go.
There is, well, some people still manage it.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. In fact, it's really good to have someone like you on, because if you're happy to sometime, I could easily get it up past Paul Netherton, no problem. But it was just really, really good to get someone from detective side of things who is, you know, really in, because they're not hitting in offices doing this stuff. You know, there's quite frontline stuff they're getting their teeth into, and shifts and all that, and being called out all the time. A lot of the time, okay, might not be so much at this time, because especially in Devon and Cornwall, where the biggest offence we get here is serious swearing. But no, actually, it's not true, as we all know it. But I do try to play on that.
Don't get overtime rates at that rank either, do they? They probably get call out, but they don't get overtime rate.
Yeah, but the call out's like 15 quid. No, not call out. So if you're on call, it's 15 quid and you're taxed on that.
Oh, sorry.
So you get 7 quid. And then most of the time on a call out, so you get in, especially so if I was the SIO or something on traffic side of things, but I'd get a call out, and by the time you got to the top of the driveway, it'd say, no, cancel now, it's not that threatening. So you've taken your details and whatever, you've got in, you've woken up, you got dressed, you're in the car, you're out, and then so you get 7 quid for that, and 7 quid for not being able to go out and have a few beers and stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's still rubbish.
Yeah.
Harper is so cute.
She is cute.
She is. She's a little character, isn't she?
It's gone up. It's 20 quid now, not 7 quid.
20 quid, is it? Is that after tax, though?
Oh, probably not. I wouldn't think so.
Oh, here's one. See, you are not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so, but whatever you say may be taken down in writing and may be given in evidence. Yeah, I mean, that sounds very... My wife used to always joke, and the trouble is I caught it off her. When I was going to court, I'd say, so it'd be, put your hand on the button, and then in the end, because I don't believe in God. And
how controversial do you want to make this podcast?
I don't believe in God. I'm surprised any
Santa or the Easter Bunny next.
I'm surprised any cops do, because they like evidence, and I don't see any evidence. That's all. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, just throwing that one in there. And also, the other reasons I explained in the book. I think I've explained, but the other reasons is that it's after you go to so many fails and involving. And then you see people living their lives in misery, and they're lovely people, and they're being horribly bullied, and some old lady is blubbing next to you because her late husband's medal's been stolen and flogged off for 10 quid, and you think, no, I don't want to be. If there's a God, I don't want to be part of him. So that's what I said. So that's my spurt on that. On maybe we should have God as a guest.
Definitely, give him a ring, Harry.
I'm giving him an option. Crack on, come on. And I've forgotten the beginning of that conversation because I started ranting on about God.
Plenty of people out there who think they are God, mate.
That's God, true. Hang on. Watch out for the lightning bolt, Harry. Oh, yeah, I mean, they're dodging those.
Yeah, I'd just like to say to the higher powers that might be listening that I had nothing to do with that comment whatsoever.
I know, good.
I have my own beliefs.
Honestly, it's just such a freedom I've got. I don't need to feel guilty about anything. It's amazing. Hey! Oh,
that's going to be on the front page.
Lord works in a mysterious way. That's to me. That's a get out. that's a get out. Well, in fact, there's a priest, because I went to church for 16 years when I was a kid because I had to. My parents weren't overly religious. They weren't. We had to say grace at mealtime and things like that, but otherwise religion wasn't mentioned at all, really. And they said you can decide whether you want to come or not, when you're 16. And there's a priest who was absolutely tops. And we did have an alcoholic one, and one that we weren't entirely happy with. But there's meant to be a really good, really cracking one down in Newquay at the moment, Catholic Church. My mum used to see as well. But Father Mags, and he was cracking, and he moved to London, and he said, "Oh, Harry, I've just bought your book." And I'm thinking, oh, shit. I go in about my ungodliness in there, about saying how much. And I said to him, this is how good he is. I said, I have to say, Father Mags, Father, that there's a period in my book where I explain I'm not really into God, because a few times in my life that really I questioned very much whether he existed or not. No, I very much questioned whether he existed to the extent that, what did I say? But anyway, he said, "Oh yes, I've been there all the time myself." So basically he was saying he's the priest and he's high up. But yeah, of course he questions it as well. Yeah, frequently.
Didn't you ever question your employer, Harry?
My employer? Yeah, well, John Evans, he was pretty much God. My first chief. He was fearsome. But yes, no, Father Mags questioning his employer. Yeah, but he's quite elderly. He got COVID badly and survived. Got around it. So there's a lesson. So yeah, if I get it, no chance now.
I'm getting lots of grief, Harry, because Finn's not on there. So we'll just leave it like that.
Well, look, that's controversial.
Just get rid of your face and leave just Finn, and we'd have the viewers.
Hang on a minute. I can actually do this. Stand by. I can.
This would go through the roof. There you go.
Look! Whoa!
And there is a little.
Oh, look! Here he goes. Oh, look at that! Look, point his little face in the camera if he's not going to be too upset about it. Oh, look at that little face! There's another one coming in.
There's another nose. Yeah, his nose is everywhere.
Right. This is basically, those screens where you get a fire and you just leave it on in your house.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
We'll just leave the little doggy scratching his fleas.
Mate, we'll have 3,000 live viewers in a minute.
This is working. This is working. There you go. There's more.
There we go.
Yeah, it's all coming. This is all we need to do.
That's it. We don't need to talk. We don't need to think of subjects. You don't need to do all that hard work researching in the week, Harry, and reading all those books. We'll just do that.
A bit like I didn't this week either. But I'm going to go and buy a puppy immediately. I got to compete somehow. I'm going to just get a cute puppy.
We haven't even got muscle.
Did you grow up with dogs, Dave? Did you grow up with wolves? I think Ethan's saying. And Dave was brought up in the jungle by wolves.
Oh, I think life would be so much less complicated if it had been.
I've lost a follower. Oh, it wasn't follower. It's one of your followers, Dawn Golding. I do apologise on behalf of your Facebook, Dave.
Oh, dear. We're lucky that's all he did. If Rory was up there, crikey, you'd have all sorts on show.
Oh yeah, Rory has got particularly large testicles, I have to say.
He does. Yeah.
Where is this conversation gone? I'm sorry, but it's 1 minute past 5.
Really? I did quite like. I must apologise. I do a 10-week shift pattern, and every now and then, right in the middle, there's a block of weeks that I struggle to get here. Well, some days I can't make 4 o'clock, and other weeks that I struggle to get here for 4 o'clock. So I do apologise.
I'm going to learn to juggle just in case. Look, mate, I'm surprised you can come as much as you can, to be honest. So,
bless. Have you told him about next week?
I'd certainly use them as a referee. I'm not saying that. I mean, I'll use them where they're of use. That's why I'm going to go to hell, you see.
Yeah.
That's right. I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven. That's my motto. Sorry, Dave. It's now you've realised it's not your police bosses that you're worried about with this live podcast. It's actually God thinking that you are part of my mate, and that's it.
Well, I mean, I used to be a great believer in karma, but I can't help but thinking that karma's gone on holiday.
Who the hell is Karma? Is she a follower of yours or mine?
Yeah, there's plenty of people that karma needs to go and say hello to. I am tired. 4 a.m. alarm clock really I'm not very good in the morning. So 4 a.m. alarm clock takes it.
Well, I only did it for 30 years, mate. It's your spring chickens like you. You need to just crack on a little bit longer. 30 years shifts. And some of my I've got a screwdriver again. Sorry, it's my weapon. That fell out of my pocket earlier to prove that I was putting up a fence in a manly manner.
Yeah. You are a manly man.
Oh, very manly man. And but yeah, my nights used to finish at 6, and then I'd start work at 2 in the afternoon. How about that? That wasn't good.
Ouch.
No, that wasn't good.
No.
So, but I used to love the late shift when you'd finish at 10, and then if you finished on time, you could then run across the other side of the station where the bar was open, and it was full of retired cops, like I would have been there, like barflies, and off-duty cops and all this sort of thing. And it was a right bustle. And there was only the occasional fights in there. And it was just brilliant. So you'd be able to get a pint in there. But, of course, everyone lives so much locally,
Yeah.
They were. So it was so much more local. But now everyone commutes miles, don't they?
Yeah, that's it. Police bars were sort of ruled out ages ago, weren't they? There's a book called The Horse's Arse, which is a police book. And and the opening chapter appears to be a raucous scene from inside a bar, and then the sergeant walks in and says, "Right, you lot, we're out on public order duty," and that's how it used to be, apparently, many moons ago. Go up to have a couple of beers, and then go out and do public order patrols in the van.
Yeah, but I remember, because I remember when I was at Sharp Mile, which was the police training college for several forces around the area, and you go there, and that was in Dorset. And then and I met him actually, Stu Kevin. Actually, he does the uniform services now because he obviously retired at the same time. Me, we joined together, and of course he. We'd be given our stations. Where you go to the stations, you do a bit of like sandwich course, you do a bit of policing, and then you go back and do some more training. If we come back training, we'd share each other's experiences, and it was like, so how are you talking? What happened? Oh yeah, it was great. Went to a burglary, went to 2 fights, and this, that, and the other, and it was, oh, that's good, good. And so, what did you do, Stu? Well, my tutor took me around Penzance, and then we went around a couple of pubs, had a couple of pints behind the bar, and then later on finished. And the instructor's like, because Penzance down West Cornwall, right, was sort of 25 years prior, really.
Oh, I mean,
so yeah, it's just how things were. So the littler places, the more isolated places, they did go on old rules.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I saw that. It made me chuckle. I remember when I was a lad going to stay with a friend in Cornwall. I must have been a teenager, and we went to the pub because everybody goes to the pub. And it got to 11 o'clock, and they were still serving. And then at one point they locked the doors, closed the curtains, and carried on serving. And someone said, "Yeah," and I said, "Oh, my friend who'd not long moved to Cornwall said, won't the police be worried? Won't you get into trouble?" And she pointed at the bloke sat at the end of the bar and said, "That's the local copper." Oh my God, it's the quietest it's ever been. Harry, take it off. Harry, I can't. That you're just not normal if there's not noise coming out of your face. Undo it, Harry. Undo it. The book was called The Horse's Arse. I think it still is available. It was HA for the policing area, HOL area that it referred to.
I am fragile. It was fragile. I could have used the "This Way Up" tape, but I've got it. Yeah. There you go.
How you say this? What's he got now? What's he doing now? This way up. Are you sure it's that way up? Are you sure it's that way up?
I've got those symmetrical heads that can be upside down, you know.
I haven't. See, I broke my nose when I was a kid.
Did you?
It goes
Is
that
that
way.
your excuse?
It won't go that way.
Oh God, yeah, you're right. Hey, you can get that done. I've heard you can get that done.
Yeah.
While you're there, you can get those false eyebrows on that people do now.
Okay. Yeah.
Tattoo them. That's really good because fashion doesn't change, does it?
So I dye my hair so I don't get called Paul O'Grady by another young robber.
Portillo. I was called Portillo.
Oh yeah.
Buggers. When I had especially a bit more floppy hair.
Have you got his fashion sense? He wears the brightest clothes you can find, doesn't he?
Well, if you want to look like, so if you walked into a Ferrari thing and all that, you just suss the fact the more scruffy you are, the more rich they think you are. If you do yourself up posh and ask for a test drive, they're far more likely if you look like Chris Evans or something like that. Alternatively, when you're slightly older in years, if you wear salmon cords, isn't it? It's the uniform of wealth. And especially if you drive a crapped out car already, then you're stinking rich. That's how it goes, isn't it?
What a big old
what's this one here? I remember working in Scotland in the Highlands and being to all the confession. This is confession corner. Because you weren't here earlier, Dave, we're dragging this on a little bit longer until either they get bored or we do, and be told it's okay to go.
I'll be asleep for that.
Go to the pub and drive back to my hotel as the local police would also be in the pub. Oh, well, that should be happening now. That was when the police used to knock on the door when it should be finishing at 11, out by 11:30, wasn't it? And then, then the police would sort of go around and have a lock-in with all the locals, really, then. Yeah.
Someone just said, where are all the dogs? Gemma's cooking a roast dinner, as you do on a Saturday. And she's just given them all cabbage, so they've all wandered off. Oh, no, sorry.
What?
Broccoli.
They've all given them cabbage?
Broccoli. So they've all wandered off to eat their broccoli. So,
as if dogs don't smell from their rear ends enough.
Well, Gemma's just said that Finn's just gone for a poo, so there you go.
Oh, it's these delicate subjects.
From the
lovely
household. I mean, it's better than Big Brother, this.
Honestly, we should. That would be amazing.
Gemma's just getting their plate out of the cupboard.
That's an idea. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should have a live. We'll just stick live cameras all over your house.
Great.
We'll have to keep reminding you to put your Speedos back on.
Yeah. I do walk around naked. Yeah, there'd be even more for people to criticise me about then. It'd be great. I love it. That's such a great idea.
Have you had more abuse, have you had, Dave?
Oh, mate. I should be flattered that these people have nothing more to do with their miserable lives. And
I don't.
They're talking about my miserable life.
I don't like Dave. Dave's being too nice. He's being too nice.
Oh, I don't like broccoli.
Well, Dave, clearly you're a millionaire because you have written a book and you have changed the law.
And you know that writing a book instantly makes you a millionaire overnight.
I don't know what to do with this stuff. I'm sitting on it. I got rid of my chair. I've made it. I'm sitting on.
I think if you worked it out in an hourly rate for writing a book, it'd probably be about 10p an hour.
Oh, you've hit double figures in pence.
Oh, okay, maybe not then, but 8p.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and going through it and getting all the mistakes and reading it through again and again and again, and then finding still there's dozens of mistakes left.
And then you just give up and let someone else do it.
Right, we've lost the detective chief inspector. Oh, are you back in uniform now? Because sometimes when you get promoted, you have to go back in uniform, but they don't want to lose a detective. We're cool. I'll tell you all about him when he goes. That'll be fine. But mate, I think we got to leave him wanting more. I say. I think we should leave it there.
Always.
All right, and then you can fall asleep with your face in your roast beef, sort of spring. It's been amazing.
Lovely to see you all. Thank you for joining us. We hope to have guests next week. Have you told them about that, or is it still?
Well, is the date next week, or is it? What's the date now?
It is next week. 11th. Yeah. Didn't you?
Yeah, I think I will check absolutely for certain because I don't want to give false info. Yes.
Well, we might have a guest next week then. There we go.
Yeah, we will. We will have Nigel Lang. He's good. He confirmed next week. He is top. He did some Learn to Live stuff with me as well. And he is a Devon Air Ambulance medic. So he is thrown into the deep end with the worst sorts of injuries. And he has to get his head straight and then be a hero pretty much every day.
Well,
but there we go.
Just in case you get arrested in the week, and if you hear this, it does mean you're under arrest.
You're under arrest at this point for burglary. You've got to say, shut up. Don't say the main harm is the person I was arrested. Okay? Yeah.